Today we're going to talk about what is an appraisal gap. Hey everyone, it's Lydia with the Goalish team, and today we're going to talk about what an appraisal gap is. In one of our previous videos, we shared with you what an appraisal is, so we have that covered. So let's focus on the gap part today so that you can understand how an appraisal gap operates in a competitive seller's market. Okay, so last week we talked about the fact that you could offer, let's say, $750,000 on a $700,000 home. And if it came in low, we could maybe negotiate with the seller to bring that price down to whatever the appraisal is. Let's say the appraisal came in the middle at $725,000. Well, let's say you had an appraisal gap in your offer and the appraisal came in at $725,000. Then we actually would approach the contract in a very different manner. So let's go back to the beginning when we first write the contract and talk about the value that the appraisal gap has. Okay, so let's say we're writing a contract in a really competitive seller's market and we talk about putting in an appraisal gap. There will be a couple of different options for the value that you could put in. The first value option is that you could say you're going to do an unlimited amount. Now let's say it came in under list price. Then you're just promising the seller that you're still going to give them the $750,000 regardless of whether it comes at list price, at offer price, or even below list price. In an unlimited appraisal gap scenario, you're basically promising them the exact dollar that you offer in your contract price. Okay, so that's an unlimited appraisal gap. The second kind of lesser competitive step down, less competitive for the seller, but more helpful for you in your scenario, would be to put a dollar amount on it. Again, let's use the example of our $700,000 home and the $750,000 purchase price that, let's just say, you're offering. Well, there's a $50,000 difference between what you're offering and what the house is listed for. So a full appraisal gap in this sense, we're going to say that that's the actual $50,000 appraisal gap. So let's run some scenarios here. If it comes in at $700,000, you're going to give the seller $750,000. Now let's say it comes in at $650,000. Well, that means that you're going to give the seller $700,000, right? You're still using that $50,000. Now let's play it in the other direction. What if it came in at $740,000? Well, here's something that's pretty cool. You're still going to give them the $750,000. You're not going to go over the purchase price. So really, in an appraisal gap scenario, it's the dollar amount up to that amount or the purchase price, really whichever one comes first. So in the scenario of the $650,000, for instance, it's up to the $50,000, right? We're not going all the way up to the $750,000. In the $740,000 instance, it's going up to the $750,000. It's going up to the purchase price. So you're not using all of your promised appraisal gap, only the portion that you need in order to meet that purchase price that you originally offered. Okay, the third tier as far as competitiveness goes, meaning this is the least competitive scenario for an appraisal gap to a seller, and of course it's nicer for you as a buyer in this market, is to do a smaller monetary value on the appraisal gap. So again, let's use the $700,000 for the list price example with the $750,000 for the purchase price. You have a $50,000 gap. Let's say instead of the $50,000, you don't have it or you don't want to give it to the seller, you're going to offer $15,000. Well, just be mindful of the fact that, again, this isn't going to be as competitive. You could offer $750,000, you could offer $1 million. At the end of the day, the seller knows they're only going to get $15,000 over the appraised price. So let's say the appraised price comes in right at $700,000. That means that the seller is going to get $715,000. As you can see, if there are big gaps in these prices between the list price and the purchase price, a seller could be very hesitant to do that. It's great for you, and it's just really also good for you to be mindful of how competitive is my appraisal gap. Any appraisal gap can be very competitive, but when you're up against 5, 10, 15, 20 offers and there are larger appraisal gaps at stake, a lot of times an offer could very well come down to the price that you're offering and how much appraisal gap is there. For more questions on appraisal gaps, especially for your unique upcoming home purchase scenario, let us know. We're happy and here to help you, walk you through this appraisal gap scenario and many other scenarios to ensure that you're putting in a great offer in a competitive seller's market. From everyone here at the Goalish team, I'm Lydia Goalish. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to putting in a great competitive offer for you on your upcoming new home.